5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Yeah, I'm ready. It's a bit strange having these in my ears, but yeah, fine. I'm okay. I can hear you loud and clear. Yeah, okay. Let's do it. Fire away. A snapshot of my career. Okay. 1986, 21-year-old, joined North Wales Police. Varied career covering different aspects. Started as everybody else does on the beat, and then worked my way on to, well, after the Towing floods, I was on duty that morning in 1990. Then 92, I joined the police helicopter. I was lucky enough to be on there for 10 years. It was also the Welsh Air Ambulance at the time as well, so we did a lot of life-saving stuff. It was very rewarding. And then, where did I go then? Okay, I went to the control room, then traffic. And 2007, I was very, very fortunate to be able to be given the post on attachment to Countryside Council of Wales as the lead investigator, wildlife sergeant for North Wales Police. So very, very lucky to do that. Also during that time as well, I was a hostage negotiator for 10 years and a few of the bits and pieces I was involved in. So I had quite a varied career. 2013, I was asked to start up a dedicated rural crime team in North Wales, which is the first of its type, not only in Wales, but also the UK. And of course, we have over 25 or 30 now in the UK. So really proud to be able to do that myself. And small team of 4 police constables. And that's expanded to what it is today, is a team of 10, I think it is, and a sergeant. So that's a checkered past to my career. 2016, I retired, 30 years police service, and then I came back as a civilian manager. And the story continues, I guess. Yeah, I suppose that's a great follow-up question. How did I become involved in my current role? So the passion continues really for wildlife and rural matters, and particularly Wales. I'm very, very proud to be Welsh. So post sort of, well, mid to post COVID, the Welsh government decided to sponsor on a 12-month trial the role of coordinator. So this purpose was really that 4 police areas in Wales were doing some fantastic work with rural crime and wildlife offences, but they weren't joined up. And also you've got to involve the key partner agencies that really play a big, big part because they offer the expertise in their areas of wildlife and rural crime. So they set up this trial for 12 months. I applied for it, was fortunate enough to get the post, and then had this enormous task of not living in North Wales anymore, having to basically work within Welsh Government and the 4 police force areas, which was really difficult. If you've ever worked for a police force and you go into another police force, is so different because they're not all the same. They all have different practices and different ways of doing things. So that was quite difficult. And that's how it came about. Whether it was the right decision for me, yeah, of course it was. Of course it was. Okay, that's the $1,000,000 question, isn't it? What have I achieved? Well, I've been in post about 18 months now. It was a daunting, I always say, Rome wasn't built in a day, really. It was a daunting start, to be honest, because there was so much to achieve. And I had a blank sheet, that's really important for me. So that allowed me to be creative, look at different aspects of the work that I need to concentrate on and focus on, realise what was working and what wasn't working in Wales and also England and across the UK, and then identify a way of problem solving it and coming up with answers of how we could go about it. So I looked at the English, or well, the UK strategy, which I found there's a lot of groups, and I'm a member of most of these groups, and I also chair the livestock one nationally in the UK. But I looked at the groups, and I think a lot of them have commonality, such as the Badger group and Bat group, and these sort of groups. There's a lot of commonality, and particularly the farming groups as well. A lot of commonality. So I came upon the idea of having 6 key strategic areas in Wales for the police and partner agencies to use as a strategy to look at. And that's sort of what we've achieved now, and actually it's just been formulated, it's been written at the moment. Actually, it's just been signed off. So we're hoping for a release of the strategy on the 27th of April. So let's discuss the strategy. It's really important. So I've focused on 6 key areas here. So I've looked at bird offences, but not just bird offences that involve birds of prey, which is important, but also looking at our urban bird offences. These take a lot of time, particularly this time of year when we've got birds nesting, and the summer season will be beyond us soon, and more visitors and tourists. So we have lots and lots of issues with people cutting hedges, people destroying nests intentionally or unintentionally, people stealing birds' eggs, people stealing chicks and exporting them abroad, which is a big problem. And of course we have poisonings as well. So these are the areas we look at. So that's the first group. The second group that let's go back. The first group, loads of really influential and very knowledgeable people on that group, and also the 4 police force areas are covered. The second group, very similar but different sets of skills, is a mammals and European protected species group. This looks at things like badger baiting, bat offences, illegal hunting, anything to do with mammals really, even if it's coastal mammals such as cetaceans and dolphins, etc. So there's lots of areas there that looks at, but it also looks at European protected species. So for those that don't know, these are things as great crested newts, which obviously aren't mammals, but they still need to be in a group to look at. And we do have issues with people going in and doing work without getting proper planning consent. So that's another one we look at. So that's mammals and EPS. The third group is habitats, self-explanatory, but this also covers illegal off-roading across Wales. It covers heritage crime for the first time, which is great. We've got Operation Seabird, which is a coastal operation which covers the whole entire coast of Wales, which is over in excess of 800 miles long. Covers litter picking, illegal damage of special sites of scientific interest. So there's a massive array of areas that covers. And again, that involves the police areas, Welsh Government, Natural Resources Wales, and various different people that we need. The fourth group I think we're up to, fourth group is the farm group, self-explanatory again, but this covers livestock attacks, thefts, cold caller calling, and all those bits and pieces there. And this engages with our farming communities, the farming unions, National Sheep Association, 4 police areas again, Welsh Government, and all the charity agencies that help our farming communities within Wales. So that's doing a lot of good work, some good stuff coming out of that. The fifth one is quite a simple group really, but probably the most important, and it's the 4 lead sergeants for Wales, rural sergeants, and myself meet on a monthly basis, and we discuss potential operations, intelligence, crime trends, best practice, who's doing what, and what's working, what isn't, reviewing those factors, and working closer together in Wales, because criminals don't have borders, do they? They just don't. So we need to make sure that we don't have borders, and I don't think we have any more in Wales. We're definitely working closer within our rural environment. And the last one, the 6th, I say last, it's not by means least, it's a group that we formulated. It's the first type, I think, for rural communities, and we're looking at mental health in our farming communities, suicide prevention, and also additionally we're looking at domestic abuse and coercive and controlling behaviour. This is really important. Those 3, there is links, but they're not one linked. They're actually 3 different subjects, but we have people in from the various areas that look at these. Charities such as DPJ Foundation, who do some fantastic work for suicide prevention and helping people in crisis. Tir Dewi, RABI, Farming Network, all these factors are involved. Welsh Government again, Health Board, and our policing areas as well. And it's about that 7 o'clock call on a Sunday night. A rural police officer from Wales, wherever it may be, gets called to a farm and there's a crisis. And it's about them having that toolkit to deal with that professionally, thoroughly, and potentially saving lives. And that's what we're trying to achieve with that group. And I think we're getting there, definitely getting there. And that one's important to us. So we've got the 6, it's birds, mammals, habitats, farms, the rural sergeants, and finally mental health and suicide and domestic violence. Wow, okay, what's disappointed me most? I think I'm always open and honest, apart from the people I'm probably about to talk about. I think negativity really, and lack of respect. I know that a lot of sectors, and particularly the police at the moment, come under some criticism, and it's easy to do so nowadays without actually having the full knowledge. But I found over probably since I've been doing this from day one that there's a handful, and it is a handful. I've accumulated in North Wales 17,000 followers, and this my Twitter site now with a new job is up to about 1,300 and increasing. And you find that there's a handful of people, and they are a handful, you know, the five and less, that literally are so negative towards you about everything, because it doesn't fit their agenda. They get frustrated because the law is inadequate, and they see that law inadequacy as a, a lack of the police ability to do the job, and that's not the case. I've never seen that. The police do professional and thoroughly investigate all offences, but these people, they don't see something they like, so rather than sit around a table and discuss, they don't, because most of them hide under the cloak of anonymity on social media. What they do is they'll throw in a blatant comment, and sometimes blatant lies, well in fact mostly blatant lies, mostly about me, and they criticise, and then what happens is they'll put something on that Rob Taylor's this or Rob Taylor's that. It's absolutely no substance to it whatsoever. And then somebody down in the middle of England will see this and go, wow, that's scandalous, I'm going to retweet that. And it gets retweeted by a few, but it's actually not true. You know, allegations that I'm a member of the Hunt or this or that, or I get free venison, it's just rubbish, absolute rubbish. I mean, I wish they could see me ride a horse because I've never done it. I like all police officers, you sit in the middle. You sit in the middle and you look at the evidence from both sides of any argument, and then you make a decision on evidential. And it's all about evidence. Without that evidence, you can't. I don't have any remit to go one way or the other at all. None whatsoever. Mine is a complete impartial, looking at the evidence and making a decision based on that. But these people don't like it. So when they do post things about me saying I'm useless B, and this one person posted something really obnoxious, so I blocked her, and then she then kicks off saying that I'm going to be blocked because of this and that and this. It's not. These people are blocked because they're disgusting, some of their comments, and they're not true. So that's the reason being. So yeah, what do I find upsetting? Oh, yeah, I think that's it really. But this is like 0.11111% of the 100%, the very, very small minority. What's the current setup in Wales of rural officers? Okay, 4 sergeants, I think I've said it before, about 60 officers, 4 police areas, North Wales dedicated team with a sergeant and 10, Dyfed Powys very similar, Gwent Police, smaller team, about half the size, but still dedicated, and then South Wales Police have a sergeant and a team of 20. They're not full-time, but they do have the training, and they go on the farm courses, the National Wildlife course, to actually get that training. So that's about the current setup. Then I sit pretty much as the coordinator to sort of be the conduit between the 4 forces, but also linking in with our partner agencies and bringing all that together and chairing meetings. So that's my role within it. So we also have 3 police officers, full-time police officers, who are seconded to Natural Resources Wales, who are also experts in rural crime, but additionally deal with waste crime, cockling, high value waste disposals such as asbestos and things like that, illegal damage to triple SIs, and so they've got that skill set in that area, but they're part of it as well. So we all, additionally on top of that, we have a mixture of PCSOs, of course, which do a fantastic job, but also special constables, and we have volunteers as well. You know, volunteers that help with horse watch and such things as events to get TAC stamped and stuff like that, and prevention measures for equine. So there's a vast array of people, and I think the biggest people we have, really the biggest numbers we have, is all the people that work with us as partners as well. But specific rural officers, about 60 in Wales, yeah. That's a good question. How did COVID or the pandemic affect us in Wales? Well, the obvious answer is, of course, it was devastating to a lot of people. It's still around. I've just got over a second bout of it, and that's why I'm slightly breathless. It's still affected. It's been devastating to a lot of people in Wales, and we fully understand that. I think with regards to rural crime, how it affected us was that the criminals didn't have access to the roads because we were in lockdown. So if you're going to be a rural criminal, you need a vehicle. You're not going to be a very good rural criminal without a vehicle. So we did see a decline in thefts, particularly quad bikes, etc., because the criminals were denied use of the roads. The flip side of that is that people were restricted to how far they could walk, so they tend to walk their dogs in fields near to their houses, and then livestock attacks would obviously be on the increase. People also saw it as an opportunity because they were working from home to buy dogs. And then obviously with that comes the responsibility, and a lot of people didn't understand the type of dog they were buying and the responsibility, so that affected livestock attacks as well. The other things that, oh gosh, I think the sixth strategy aim area that we look at is the mental health, suicide prevention, and domestic violence. I think particularly with the farming communities, it put the isolation that they suffer already into further isolation. Added to that, the pandemic itself, and also the cost of living, not being able to go to cattle markets and socialise. I think that had a bad effect, and that's why we're trying to do what we're doing in the sixth strategy arm, to try and help or plug that gap and offer professional help we can do. I think, I don't want to say the word benefit because it's a difficult one, isn't it, given the circumstances, but technology increased dramatically in the police and other sectors as well during this time. For me to have a meeting at a high level, to go to Lincoln to see the Deputy Chief Constable there, would be a 5 or 6 hour drive each way for a 2 hour meeting and then drive back. A very long day for a minimum reward. Now, of course, the COVID kicked in and Teams kicked in as well, and Zoom and online events. And so now for me, it's very, very easy in the morning, 10 o'clock, without having to travel anywhere, switch on my laptop and have a really good, meaningful conversation with somebody or a group or whatever it is for an hour or 2 hours. And probably in a day now, realistically, I have probably 3 or 4 Teams meetings a day. I could never do that before. Then you tie that in with being able to email and resolve and share documents and all that. It's very, very efficient. So that's been a big bonus. I think I certainly achieve more now because the technology is better and allows me to do so. Very unusual question, but that's the best answer I can give. Whew, you're really going for it today. Strengths and weaknesses. What are my strengths and weaknesses? Oh, partial to a bag of crisps. That's probably a weakness, I guess. I'm not sure. Strength-wise, it's a difficult one. I probably think creativity. I do have moments of creativity. Probably some of you don't think I do, but I do have moments of creativity, and I run with things and see if it works. If it doesn't, I either adjust it, scrap it, or proceed with it. So weaknesses, I don't know, it's a difficult one to answer. It's like a job interview, isn't it? What's your weaknesses? Probably my weakness is not being able to answer this question, so I'll leave it at that. But yeah, strength-wise, probably creativity, I think. That's about it. What do I do to relax? Wow, okay. I'm okay. It's fine. I'm a Wrexham supporter, a massive Wrexham football supporter. I've been for many years, since I've been a child. I've been up and down the country following them home and away. I've been abroad to follow them as well. I've been to Portugal twice to see them in other games as well. And it's crazy actually now, because it's great because Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney have got hold of it, and the community's thriving in Wrexham. It really is. The only problem is I can't get a ticket anymore. So I don't live in North Wales anymore. So to buy a season ticket is not easy for me because it's a 4 or 5 hour journey to get there. So I have to rely on trying to get a ticket, and I can't. Every game's a sellout. But you know what? It's fine. I'm more than happy to see Wrexham succeed, the community succeed, and actually it's about North Wales and Wales as well. Wherever you go, it's on the tip of people's tongues at the moment. It's quite a great thing. I also like a bit of gardening, and I'd like to say fitness. I used to do fitness, but COVID's made me become a bit relaxed in that department. But I've just joined the gym, so we'll see how that goes as I get myself back fit again. So yeah, that's about it really. The future, okay. Last question, I think, isn't it? The future. 18 months in, we've achieved a lot, but I know there's so much more we can achieve. Really, a lot more we can achieve. Great that the Welsh Government have confirmed that they'll continue my contract to 2025, which is fantastic to see. But there's areas that we really need to get into and really, really make a huge difference. And we're getting there. We are getting there. But, things are developing day on day, and the forthcoming conference, you're going to see a lot of the stuff coming out that has really been making a difference. I think it's going to make some people raise their eyebrows, because a lot of people don't know what we're doing here in Wales, and this is really going to showcase it. And plus as well, the rural strategy being released. I'm not sure if this format will work, the camera and stuff and YouTube, but maybe a podcast would be a good idea in the future, sort of looking at bits and pieces. But if I can utilise this format to interview people who are working with the rural crime, but also members of the public as well, or police officers are out there doing rural crime, and wildlife crime. So I want to try and, if this works, and you can give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down if it does. I want to see if we can expand on it and really get into people to find out what they do, whether it's good or bad, you know, and going back to the people that were negative towards me, if they can unveil themselves in the cloak of anonymity, I'm more than happy to have them on. You know, if they want to chat openly with me, and I'll chat openly and interview them about the subject and why they feel what the police are doing is wrong, I'm more than happy to answer questions on that. So that's an invite for them, so they know where I am. They can contact me, unless they're blocked, of course. So yeah, lots to come in the future. Lots to come in the future, and I'm always open to suggestions as well. Of course, if somebody out there thinks they've got a good idea and it might be worth us using it to assist with rural crime, I'm more than happy to accept that as well. So, yeah. Final thoughts. Always a good one, isn't it? Final thoughts. Usually, what's your favourite album or record? But what's final thoughts? It's great to have this opportunity to chat, isn't it? It's not easy. You put on the spot a bit, but more than happy to chat about my role and where we're going, what we've done, what we're achieving, and let's see where we go from here. There's going to be some good stuff coming. You keep my words. Keep your eyes on it. There's some really good stuff coming out of Wales, and I think you're going to be impressed. Yeah, thank you. It's been a pleasure.